Hi Leo, here's a general look at your solar chart for June 2012, and as the month kicks off, it's a very progressive phase, a very sociable, in person or over the wires. Friends come around, or you go around to friends, or you get involved with a club, a group, an organisation, some kind of community of kindred spirits maybe. All of that's going to be highlighted, and it's highlighted at the same time every year because that's where the sun is at the same time every year, except for this year you're getting a huge emphasis on that area to do with Venus and Jupiter, and there's a lunar eclipse too. So you might very much be giving your attention to goals you wish to achieve for quite a while now. It kind of been years, or it kind of been just the last few weeks or months, but you kind of been hanging fire on it. You've been wanting to kind of get into gear and go forwards with it. Well, now you can. Things, it might not be like that at all. It might be different. It might be that you just have more involvement with friends or acquaintances, or it might be that some of you are having more involvement with things techno, anything futuristic, anything which is cutting out new ground. That's what this vibe is about. So in general, a governing factor until the 21st won't be so much what you know already, but who you know and what new stuff you're learning, and also how well you can cooperate with others, how well you can achieve a goal better with others than you can by just yourself, or how you can achieve success through others in some way. It might be not a whole stadium full of people at the same time, but it could be. It could very much be. It might be just one at a time, but definitely it feels like a collective energy here. And a key feature is that it's sociable, it's generally friendly, and it's supportive, where professional collaborations or just connecting, it doesn't have to be anything long term, or it can be, or social get-togethers, teamwork is very strongly highlighted. Good vibration for networking, anything to do with the internet, connecting and furthering something that you've aspired to. So you searching out information maybe. Potentially a time of progress, especially for you early Leos, because you early Leos, the universe is really trying to push you into fresh areas and new directions. You may have noticed that. So that's you early Leo rising, say up to around about 5 degrees, 6 degrees, all you early Leos in the first 5-6 days, particularly after mid-June. It's particularly after mid-June, even though Venus will be going retrograde until the 27th. This is also a period when you can finally get on with things which have been on the back burner for a long time in other ways, in relationships maybe it's to do with your friends, maybe it's to do with somebody that you're having a relationship with, either a very close one or not so close, and maybe that's their lives that suddenly leaps forward, but it does affect you as well. So it can be happening in lots of different ways. Unexpected, you see, the unexpected is what you should expect at the moment, particularly you early children of the lion, and also unconventional things, unconventional influence are more prevalent, the winds of change are more prevalent, and you should be more flexible and adaptable as you go forwards, because you are a fixed sign, Leo, and you do like things, you do like to know your territory, you do like to know where you are and what you're doing and who you're doing it with. But the thing is that this is a time when you've got to be supple and flexible and bend like the tree, and don't be rigid, otherwise something's going to snap off. Well, not seriously, but you know what I mean. Just have that sort of rubbery flexibleness in your response to what comes up, and go, well, okay, actually there is a way of working with this. There is a way of seeing how this can happen, and in a way that will suit us or me. So unexpected influences, unconventional influences, not quite how you'd seen it. They can be prevalent at this time, and you just need to be more flexible and adaptable in your approach and in your responses, and see things in an experimental light. It's just to say to yourself, okay, well, we'll just suspend disbelief here, or we'll just see how this goes. That's the kind of feeling anyway. So it's a great time for friendships and a good time for making new friends, making new connections, even if they're not going to become friends, for business or your personal life, and using the information superhighway. I don't know if anybody ever calls it that anymore, but Venus is in that very sociable sector as well, and means that you're going to be socializing over the net more, or you will be earning from the net, because Venus is about money. So your connections over the net, or in fact just with people in a kind of an organization, a group, a club, can be lucrative too, and new contacts can be made, or established alliances will be very sort of like underpinning your plans, or just be supportive whilst you figure out what your plans are. And friendships, new and old, and group gatherings may be warm and perhaps materially beneficial, and generally facilitating positive experiences anyway. And could even be artistic. Could be that you'll fall in with a group of artistic sort of people, because that's what Venus is about there as well. And Venus is working best in this area in the last couple of days of the month, and into the first couple of days of July, simply because Venus is going retrograde, and that does tend to make the road a little bit slower, or sometimes relationships a little bit harder. You've got to wait, you've got to be patient, whatever it is. But anyway, you've got to work a little bit harder. But in general, that's the vibration as I see it. Now, Jupiter moves into these areas. Wow. Well, Jupiter is coming into those areas on the 12th, and that will be a very long transit of 12 months. So that's very good news for you children of the lion, to be making progress in whatever area you want to be making progress in over the next 12 months. And very much finding success through new associations, a wider range of options, and this experimental feel, let's just see how far we can push this the envelope of life here, and how crazy can it get, but in a way which is supportive, you see. Now, the lunar eclipse on the 4th does actually support change and improvement related to those areas. So if you use the eclipse energy by stepping in the direction of where you want to go, then that will underpin that energy over the following months, and you can get quite a lot done in 4 weeks, even if it's not doing anything externally, but you're just getting yourself settled in with a new idea. It might be like that, or getting your head around how to work a new piece of kit, or whatever it is, or your head around new concepts. It might be like that. Remember, expect the unexpected, and things can be quite unconventional. Now, about Mars, well, Mars is in the last month of this very long transit. It's been in since last November. So Mars has been transiting a very materialistic area, and it's going to be coming out in the first week of July. But it does still mean that you could have been putting a lot of physical effort, and sometimes really overstretching your energies, in the pursuit of sorting out basic stuff like property, possessions, finances, and any other kind of asset, large or small, for yourself, or maybe for or with others. But this also does apply to the house your spirit is currently occupying, which is your physical body. So some of you will have wanted and will have been seeking to get things sorted out there, if there have been health problems, or just, refining things and improving upon what you've got already, and maybe doing, special sort of diet and health regimes. So it could have been like that, getting practical things done anyway, outside, inside, planting seeds for the future, or harvesting things from the past, basically it still will be about your stuff, or maybe somebody else's stuff, and what you need to do to protect it, or acquire more of it, or to ditch it, or whatever you need to do to move it around. And particularly will be affecting you, children of the lion, who are born around about the 5th, 6th of August to the end of the sign of Leo, over June and a little tiny smidgen of July. And so you feel it more when Mars is actually aspecting your sun or your planets. But this has been a time as well, and will still be a time, when there's going to be an emphasis on buying, selling, renting, loaning, leasing, possessions, basic material stuff, territory, your territory, any other bit of territory. If it's not physical territory, it might be intellectual territory or property. Anything that needs you to put out energy, time, and needs a decisive approach, a motivated approach. And your vitality may be stretched at times, and as you strive to get organized on these very basic levels of life, and want to improve a material situation in some way or other. It might just simply be about money. So you working harder to maintain the piggy bank, and to improve on assets, capitalize on whatever you got, or get your hands on more stuff, and just improve the quality of your physical life, maybe through remedies, therapies, diet, exercise, or going in and having some sort of procedure done. Now, until the 7th, Mercury puts the mental focus on furthering your aims through contacts and friendships, new and old, within a club, an organisation. Very much in the stream of that type of chatter and information exchange and opinions, and in person and over the wires, but also the gossip, what's current and what isn't, and just newsy kind of energy. But discussions and ideas will tend to be progressive and future orientated. So there's something unconventional about that, and it's very much the moment when the light bulb can switch on over the head, and you go, aha, and get you thinking along very new and unusual lines. Going somewhere with your mind, at least, that you never thought you'd go. And then from the 7th to the 26th, your mind tends to become more actively introspective. You're pondering, you're mulling, and perhaps you're feeling more sensitive, more sort of, you just want to kind of protect yourself a bit more. You get into your bubble, you get into your space, and just be careful, though. You can be your own worst enemy at this time, because you can slip back into kind of a dreamy sort of nowhere, numbness, or a kind of into a bad habit, but if you're not doing that, which is not likely, but you might, and I thought I'd mention it because it's something that is almost like a vortex that pulls you a bit. At this time, your intuition will be stronger. You can draw on that to help yourself or to help others. It's usually better to help others, because you're too biased to help yourself, you see. And you can draw on your dreams and memories. Be more the hermit. Get on with things behind the scenes. Beaver away at something. Be there for others. That's what that is about as well. So socializing might be centered around, you helping others out, or indeed them helping you out, because the area that Mercury's going to be in is an area of healing and an area of higher service. So it might be that you are the one that needs to do the healing. You are the one that is in receipt of the higher service. You are the one that is just letting go, letting others take the strain. You could find yourself a little preoccupied. You're very much in touch with your inner self, your feelings, but also your intuitions and your higher self. And you could just zone out quite easily in the middle of a meeting or a conversation, or in fact some of you might fall asleep, because this is a time when you should get more rest and more sleep. And Now then, Mars, I've mentioned Mars in this very materialistic area. You should listen to your intuition about that as well. And just reflect a little bit also upon the past. You might be inclined to do that, or past conditioning, and see how you can move beyond the past in some way, because it might be getting in the way of your happiness, and if it is, then this would be a time that you can see how to move beyond it. Some things, though, with Mercury here may feel a little bit undecided, hanging fire, don't quite know how it's going to turn out. You might be on the edge of your seat a little bit, but just trust that support is coming from unseen realms, and for your part, just hold a vision and hold that very strongly, and sort of brush up on it, every day, or maybe twice a day, how you want it to be, and work with the law of attraction, and be aware of, read your environment for like responses. Usually in nature it's easier, but you can do it anywhere actually. And such an approach can work well for you during that transit there of Mercury in that area. And then from the 26th, Mercury gets into your sign, and you get far more outgoing, busier in your head, clearer about things. You now know what the deal is, you now know where you're going with it, and you just are you're accelerating, and you've got a lot busier in your head from that time there. And from the 21st, you could be beavering away in the background, but getting things ready, or just touching base with yourself, but Mercury will have moved by then, so you can be you sort of have to have one eye looking out and one eye looking in, really. Very good news for arty children of the lion, as it allows you to draw on material from your subconscious, from your imagination as well. Now, here I've been speaking about the faster moving inner planets, but you must set this against the backdrop of the slow moving outer planets, and to find out what they're doing and which part of your sign they're affecting at the moment, you need to go to my website if you're not there already and read that. Also, you might like to listen to the forecast for your rising sign or your moon sign if you know what they are on here. And that's it for June, and I'll see you the next time.